What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Paulo Costa leaks Khamzat Chimaev messages. Leading up to his fight with Roman Kopylov this past weekend, Paulo Costa reignited his long-standing feud with Khamzat Chimaev, indicating that with the win, he would be calling out the middleweight #1 contender. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. Sure enough, after snapping his 2-fight winning streak, Costa called out Chimaev during his post-fight Octagon interview ahead of the undefeated contender's title fight next month in Chicago. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show on Monday, Costa opened up on the situation, shedding light on the DMs Chimaev sent his girlfriend years back. He texted Tamara. He said, "Your man is not a man enough." He sent her a picture of Adesanya and me. He said, "Look, he likes black man. You should look for a better man than him." Costa then shared a screenshot of the DM via social media. Of course, Costa went into Saturday's fight ranked 13th at 185, meaning he'll likely need to get at least one more win before he winds up in a position to fight a top-ranked fighter like Chimaev. Dustin Poirier reveals health issues following UFC 318. Following his loss to Max Holloway on Saturday, Dustin Poirier is apparently feeling the after effects of a hard-fought 25 minutes. While Poirier is no stranger to 5-round wars, the former interim lightweight champion revealed via social media that he's, quote, hurting. In response to a fan who asked how he spent his first Monday following retirement, Poirier wrote, "Getting x-rays and my body checked out. I'm hurting." As Poirier explained during an interview with MMA Junkie's Mike Bond, when reflecting on his performance, he believes that he made the right decision by leaving his gloves in the center of the octagon. "I think in there, I felt like in between rounds, talking to my boxing coach, I could have taken more chances, but I was trying to protect myself at the same time, and I never really fought like that before. I would always put myself in harm's way to land the big shots, and this one, I didn't. And maybe that's a sign that the decision I made was the right one. Self-preservation, get home to my family safe, that type of thing." During a separate appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Poirier explained why he decided to clinch up with Holloway during their exchange in the final seconds. "What happened was what I thought was going to happen. The point down there, and we were going to exchange punches, but he was just too fast. I said, we're just doing clinch up. We're going to wrestle a little bit. I'm not doing this. I'm not going out like Gaethje." While Poirier came up short in his BMF title fight, he got an even better gift, the best dad ever belt, from his daughter. Tom Aspinall talks about fighting Francis Ngannou. Although Francis Ngannou is no longer in the UFC, considering how dominant he looked against Renan Ferreira, it's no surprise that fight fans have continued to debate how the lineal champion would do against the UFC's top heavyweights. While the odds of a fight between the two are pretty much non-existent, Tom Aspinall spoke about a potential fight with the Predator during a sit-down with former heavyweight Stefan Struve for UFC on Eurosport. "I think I'm a smart fighter with good fight IQ. I could navigate that danger well. From the outside looking in, I think I'll do good. It's a fight that I would definitely be interested in." Amid the recent talk of Alex Pereira potentially moving up to heavyweight given that the former champion currently weighs 242 pounds, Aspinall weighed in, and from the sounds of things, he's just as curious as fight fans. "Any fight is interesting to me. I don't need much to be enticed into a fight with somebody. The guy and his team know what they're doing on social media. They know how to make headlines, which is good. As far as I'm aware, it's quite normal for him and bigger light heavyweights to go up to like 240, 250. So I don't know. Maybe he's just teasing it." While there's no word yet on when the champ will defend his title, Aspinall did indicate that his next fight is officially signed. UFC updates. Following an action-packed night of fights in Louisiana, let's take a look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with a short notice change to the upcoming UFC Vegas 108 card on the 2nd. According to reports, with Torres Finney out, Azamat Bekhoev will now fight Yusri Belgarui at 185, with Bekhoev looking to build on a 2-fight win streak and Belgarui looking to pick up a win in his UFC debut following a Dana White's Contender Series win back in September. Next up, we got a new addition to the UFC 321 card in October, with Azamat Maxim set to fight Mitch Raposo. Maxim will look to snap a 2-fight skid that's seen him go winless since his 2023 debut, while on the flip side, Raposo will be looking to snap a 2-fight skid that's seen him go winless inside the octagon after back-to-back split decision losses. Next up, we have the official UFC Fight Night Paris poster, featuring Nasruddin Imavov and Caio Borralho. While we've seen some mid-posters over the years, what do you think about this one? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And last but not least, it sounds like Belal Muhammad has some fight news incoming. According to the former champ, he's going to be announcing his next fight soon. With potential fights against Ian Gary, Kamaru Usman all on the table, it'll be interesting to see who he winds up fighting in his next bout. Islam Makhachev submits training partner with a twister. Recently, footage was released on social media of Islam Makhachev tapping out his opponent using a twister. For those of you who don't know, a twister is a very rare submission, and the Korean Zombie was the first UFC fighter to ever pull it off in a UFC fight. Since then, it's only been pulled off 3 times in the UFC. Imagine if Islam can pull this off during a fight.
David, молодец, ты держался, честно сказать.
Israel Adesanya and Reinier predict Khamzat versus DDP. We're now less than a month away from the UFC 319 card in Chicago, Illinois, where Dricus du Plessis will look to defend his middleweight title against Khamzat Chimaev. Ahead of the fight, streaking contender Reinier shared his prediction during an appearance on Submission Radio. I still hope Khamzat pulls out last minute. UFC 319 is 2 weeks after my fight, so maybe we can still get lucky. I'm still leaning towards Dricus because of the experience I've training with both the guys. I just don't see Khamzat finishing him early, and I see Dricus building in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I see Dricus edging it out. While DeRitter is set to fight Robert Whittaker this weekend, the former one-champ is already looking to cement his place as the backup fighter for the UFC 319 main event. During an interview with MMA Junkie, he broke down his ideal plan for how things will play out. Hopefully, if I can do well, it all depends on how the fight goes. Like a win is not enough. I need to finish him. I need to finish him early, hopefully spectacularly, and as I said, we all hope Imavov and Borralho is boring, goes 5 rounds, nothing happens. That would be perfect, or maybe Khamzat pulls out last minute and they give me a call. We'll see. In addition, Israel Adesanya also shared his prediction for the fight on his YouTube channel, explaining, I still think Dricus gets it. Late finish for DDP. Khamzat, I think if Khamzat wins, it's the first 2 rounds. Dricus is just chaotic. Chaotic good. Chaotic evil. That's literally what this fight might be. With Fight Night rapidly approaching, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. Petr Yan sends a warning to Merab. While Petr Yan was on the wrong end of a unanimous decision when he fought Merab Dvalishvili in 2023, ahead of his fight with Marcus McGee, Yan is confident that if the two share the octagon again, things will go differently. During a Russian-speaking interview with Kolos on MMA, Yan stated, "In the first fight, I couldn't show my capabilities. This is a really well-reasoned fact. We hope that one more fight will take place. Merab does his job. He has his strong sides, which he imposes. I see that I can defeat him." Considering Yan is ranked 3rd at 135, with a win over McGee, he could wind up fighting the winner of the Merab Dvalishvili-Corey Sandhagen fight expected to take place before the end of this year. Whether he's able to stave off the machine's unrelenting pace and pressure, of course, remains to be seen. Max Holloway talks about next UFC fight. After picking up a big win over Dustin Poirier this past weekend, Max Holloway indicated that he has unfinished business with newly minted lightweight champ Ilia Topuria. As Holloway revealed in an interview on the latest episode of the UFC's About Last Fight video series, he also has unfinished business with Charles Oliveira. There's also Oliveira. I heard he was yapping, saying our first fight was with injuries. He had an injury when we fought. Last time I checked, when they did a follow-up and wanted to find out what the injury was, there was no injury report on it. They said he was fine, so I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Oliveira, who's coming off a knockout loss to Ilia Topuria himself, is likely eager to get his revenge on Holloway too. The last time the two fought back in 2015, Oliveira fell to the canvas in the first round clutching his throat. At the time, it was reported that he suffered an esophageal tear. However, that turned out not to be the case. With Do Bronx looking to get back in the win column and Holloway looking to move one step closer to a crack at the title, the fight practically books itself. Luke Rockhold talks about Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis. Luke Rockhold has trained with both Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, so if you're like most MMA fans and are pretty pumped to see this fight, chances are you'll be interested to hear his take on the matchup. Chimaev is booked to face the middleweight champion at UFC 319 on August 16. Recently, Rockhold was a guest on Submission Radio, and since he's trained with both Boers and DDP, he was asked his prediction. Here was some of what the former UFC and Strikeforce champion had to say about Chimaev. He's a beast, he's a wrestler, he's a grappler, he's going to get relentless pressure. He's going to start fast and hard. Can Dricus take that the first 2 rounds? That's what life's about for his opponents. Can he withstand the barrage? Because he's going to bring it. And like a lot of other people have said, Rockhold also believes Chimaev could be in trouble if he doesn't finish DDP early. I don't like those opportunities for him. I've trained with DDP a lot. He's tough. He ain't going to go away. You've got to dominate him from start to finish, or you've got to finish him early. I just don't see how Khamzat's going to keep that pressure, his intensity. You can only keep that for so long. DDP is tough. He's tough as hell. People don't give him a lot of credit. He's just awkward. He's got weird timing and rhythm, and he's good. He mixes it up. He's very confident. He's got good grappling, decent wrestling, and some funky striking, but it works. What do you think of Rockhold's prediction, and who do you see winning this fight? All that aside, Chimaev recently scored a new pair of camouflage sneakers from content creator and Jackson podcaster Bear DeGuido. Must be nice, right? Justin Gaethje talks about his next UFC fight. Ilia Topuria has not sounded overly keen on the idea of fighting Justin Gaethje next, but the longtime contender and walking highlight reel is still driving hard for that bout. Since Topuria bombed out Charles Oliveira last month at UFC 317 to win the lightweight crown, he shot down the possibility of fighting Gaethje next. Topuria has made it clear he wants to fight his rival Paddy Pimblett. When asked about Gaethje, however, Topuria essentially argued the former WSOF champ is old news. All this comes at a time when Gaethje's manager has claimed that the highlight will retire if he's not tapped for a title shot. And so during a recent fan Q&A, Gaethje was asked about fighting the new champion.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fight that I want. You know, obviously I'm biased. I'm going to fight for what I feel like I deserve. But he feels the same. She feels the same. We're all biased towards ourselves. It's me or Armin, I believe somebody has to fight him this year, and I think I'm in a better spot than Armin, so someone's gonna fight him. I hope it's MSG, New York City. I get to fight him, and then I get to defend it on the White House lawn. That's what I'm planning for.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here. There's no doubt Topuria versus Pimblett would be massive, but might the UFC want the baddie to win one more fight? And if so, could they look at Gaethje? Dana White has repeatedly said that Arman Tsarukyan needs to win one more before he gets tapped for another title fight, after he withdrew late from a scrap with Islam Makhachev in January. Speaking of Tsarukyan, recently he was asked by Hype FC who he thinks would win if a prime Conor McGregor had faced Ilia Topuria. Tsarukyan said this: "Prime Conor due to his elusiveness, due to his distance management. At his peak, he didn't get hit at all, he just didn't let anyone touch him." Tony Ferguson was also doing the interview, and he proceeded to agree with Armin's take. Here's some of what Ed Kukui had to say. "Ilia seems to be a little bit more of a counter fighter, you know? He clipped Charles as he was walking right into it. He has punches and bunches, but Conor's the same way. He likes to wait for everybody, be poised. So I think if Conor was at the top of his game, he's a little bit more rangy, carries a little bit more weight. I think honestly, he probably would be handling Ilia." Do you agree with Ferguson and Tsarukyan here? And who do you want to see Topuria battle next? Khabib calls out Dana White for treatment towards Russian fighters. This morning, Khabib was featured in a Russian-speaking interview with Adam Zubarayev. Khabib revealed that he thinks that Russian UFC fighters are getting delayed in their path to title fights. He listed names that fighters that he thinks are being snubbed by the UFC, like Movsar Evloev, Magomed Ankalaev, and former UFC fighter Muhammad Makhachev. Khabib said the following during the interview: "I think that feeling started in the last couple of years. They didn't give Evloev the shot at 9-0. They were stalling Ankalaev too. Then there's the whole situation with Makhachev. All of it together, it definitely creates that impression." The MMA community had mixed feelings about his comments. Some agreed with Khabib, saying that the UFC is indeed delaying a path for Russian fighters, while others are calling out the flaws in his comments. Here's what the MMA community thinks. Evloev, 13th cancelled fight. Makhachev, behind-the-scenes drama. Ankalaev got his shot. Umar Nurmagomedov got his shot prematurely. What is Khabib talking about? Nothing but facts. I like Khabib, but it feels weird to see him saying this when Umar got his title shot way earlier because he's related to Khabib. UFC is a business and always cares about the bottom line. This is now even more important given them being part of a public company now, TKO. They want fighters that are characters, thus generate money. Most Russian fighters, bar Islam, are boring on the mic and in the cage. Not because they're Russian, but because the UFC will snub fighters who they view as not casual friendly. Belal, for example, also clearly wanting the belt off Aljo when he was champ. I wouldn't say it's cause they're Russian, it's just about being a draw to fans and pay-per-views. UFC doesn't want certain guys to become champ for that reason. They did it to Merab and Belal too when they were coming up. Even did it to Armin by giving Charles a title shot over him. Khamzat is inactive. The UFC likes him and would push him. He would have been gotten a title shot a long time ago if he wasn't BSing. Umar got speed ran to the title, so your entire argument, man. Ones you listed are grown shy adults. They aren't marketable. Has nothing to do with Dagestan. If anything, y'all had privilege since your reign. Dana White kept Russian fighters when everyone else was banning them. Look at Olympics, for example. Very inconsiderate opinion by Khabib. Islam got a title shot after beating Bobby Green, and Umar got the Corey fight after 0 top 15 wins. Sure, buddy. What are your thoughts on Khabib's comments? Do you think that the UFC is delaying the path for Russian fighters, or do you disagree with his statement? Let us know in the comments below. While we're on the topic of Khabib, he also said that you cannot compare the legacy of himself and Jon Jones, as the two are different. He explained that legacy and achievements are different, and he also brought up Jon Jones' accusations that while Jon achieved greatness, there's still questions whether he was caught doping or not. Khabib said, "Legacy and achievement are two different things. A lot of people confuse those two concepts. What is legacy? Legacy is when kids look at you and feel inspired by you. As a fighter, he's the best. As a person, in terms of inspiration, character, when it comes to personal qualities, there will always be questions. As an athlete, he reached greatness. He has no equal, but there will always be questions about doping, whether he was caught or not. And yes, he was caught. That's a fact. We have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day.